Hi, Harold.
Hi, Mario. Okay.
Where are you? There's no photo, nothing.
Oh, what was weird is why doesn't it work? I had to, there's something wrong with my Zoom, with the program of Zoom. I had to reinstall it. It still doesn't work right.
Oh,
Yeah, let me see here. I'm going out for a second.
still not.
Still doesn't work. That's
No.
weird. Okay, let me try it again.
No, but go to the video thing and click. Hello.
Why
Still
doesn't it?
not.
Doesn't work. Can you see me?
No,
We
no.
cannot
Why
see
don't you
you.
click
We
on
can hear
the
you.
video thing? Maybe you are clicked off or something.
No, I reinstalled it again. I don't know.
Hmm.
We don't see you.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Yeah, start. I'll catch up.
This is an interesting one, so don't be sick. Tell him it's an interesting one.
We're at the end of 62, right?
We're on 60. I'm Samech Bays, Ahmed Bays. Amrav Tanchum, Amrav Chani Loy. Kol Adam Shein Lo Isha, a man without a wife, Shori below Simcha, has no happiness. Below Bracha, has no blessing. Below Tova, has no good. Below Simcha. Dichsiv v'samachta atel v'secha. You and your wife will be happy. Below Bracha, dichsiv l'niach bracha v'secha. Wife comes to bring blessing to the house. Below Tova, dichsiv lo tov heyos adam vado. Person should, it's not good for him to be alone. B'marava amri, below Torah, below Choma, that he doesn't have a Torah and he doesn't have like a wall. Below Torah, the chsiv ha'im ein ezra sivi v'sushya nitcha mimeni. And sushya usually refers to Torah, strength. Below chama the chsiv nekeva tisovev gaver. A woman sort of surrounds her husband like a wall who protects her. Rava bar Ulam or below shalom, no peace. The chsiv yadata ki shalom ohalecha. Your tent, which refers to your wife, it'll be peaceful. Ufakada tonavcha v'lo sechta. You won't sin. If a man knows that his wife is a yira shamayim, the eno pogda, and doesn't take care of her needs, meaning the desire to have relations.
That girl lost Friday. She lost.
Nikra chote is a sinner. Shenemar v'yadata ki shalom o alecha. That when you leave your tent, for example, when you go on a trip, you've got to make sure to take care of your wife before you leave. A man has to take care of his wife before he goes on the road. Shenemar v'yadata ki shalom o alecha. That means a woman is desirous of her husband when he's about to leave on a trip. The din is 12 to 24 hours prior to when she knows she's going to become a nida, she has to separate from her husband. But when he goes on the road, though, they can have relations at that time. Kama amrava oina. 12 hours, either 12 hours of the day, 12 hours of the night, prior to the vesed. That's if he's going like for business. Var mitzvah mitridi. If it's a dvar mitzvah, if he's going on a mitzvah trip, they don't, because he's going to get so involved in tashmish. Rashi says that he won't do the mitzvah. Ton Rabbanon. Ha'oyev es ishto kegufo. Person has to love his wife like his own self. B'mechabde yosher migufo. He has to honor her more than his self. V'madrich banav of noisa b'derech yishar. He has to lead his sons and daughters in the right way. He should marry them right when they go through puberty. All of your tent will be peaceful if you follow all of that. Person is friendly with his neighbors. And he's friendly with his family. He marries his niece. That was considered a very positive thing because you were related to her, so you already had close relations. When you loan money to a poor person when he needs it, all of when such a person davens, Hashem will answer him. Siman isha karka ezer zoshte abrachos tagri pachsi. This is a siman of the following sugyas. Amar Abelazar. Kol adam shein lo isha eina adam. Person doesn't have a wife, he's not a human being. Shenemar zachar unekeva bara. By krachmo adam. He was created male and female, and that's why he was an adam. Amar Abelazar kol adam shein lo karka eina adam. Person has to have land. Shenemar shamayim shamayim lo Hashem. V'aretz nasan l'vnei adam. You need land. The woman was made as a help, like opposite him. Zacha or zarto. If he deserves merit, if he's a deserving person, his wife will be a help to him. Lo zacha kenegdo. If he doesn't merit, his wife will be like an opposition to him. Vikidami Rebbe Lazar Rami, Ksiv Kenegdo, Vikrin Kenegdo. So what is it? Zacha Kenegdo. She's like with him. Lo Zacha Menagdeso. That means she opposes him. Ashke Rabbi Yossi Lelio. Rabbi Yossi found Elio Anovi. Amalei Ksiv Eselo Ezer. The wife will be a help. Bama Isha Uzartalom. How does she help him? Amar lo Adam Mevi Chitin. The man works in the field, brings wheat. Chitin kosem, can he chew on the wheat kernels? No, the wife has to grind it into flour, make bread. The husband brings pishtan, flax. Pishtan loivich, can you wear flax? No, she has to weave it into linen. Lo nimtses meira ein of midas al raglav. So she provides light for his eyes and has him stand on his feet. When Chava was given to Adam, he said, my bone, because he took a rib from Adam and fashioned Chava. Adam had relations with every animal. He wasn't satiated until he had relations with Chava. He recognized that that's his zivu. Avram Avinu was told, through him, all the other nations of the world will be blessed. I have two like streams that I'm going to connect to you, to your people. Lahavrich means like to graft. Rus Moavia, the Nama Amonis. Nama was married Shlomo and had Rechavam, who became king. And Chizkiah Melech and Asa and Yehoshaphat were all tzaddikim, and Yeshayahu Hanavi came from Nama. And of course, David HaMelech came from Rus. The families that are the lowest of the families, and if they have land, their land only is blessed because of Yisrael. Not only that, even boats that come from Italy to Spain, also, they are blessed because of Yisrael. Eventually, all the various craftsmen will end up working the land. The business people will come down from their boats, they will stand on the ground. There's no lower profession than working the land. Because it said that the business people have to go down. Rabbi Eliezer saw land that was plowed on its width, and even if they plow you on your length, any kind of business dealings is better than working the land. It's much more profitable. Rav Alabeni Shibli. Rav entered among the sheaves of the field. Chazina de Kanaifina. The sheaves wave in the wind. Amar lahu inayft isnufi afuchi bisatav minech. It's better to do business better than with you, because it's more profitable to do business. Amar Rav Meah Zuzi be'iska. Person invests $100 in a business venture. Kol yom bisur v'chamra. He's gonna drink wine and eat meat every day. Meah Zuzi ba'ara. If he invests $100 in land, milcha v'chafura. He's gonna have salt and dirt, or salt and vegetables. He's going to end up using the land as collateral, and he's going to have fights with his neighbors. Amar Papa Zravlo Tizbin. sow the wheat, don't buy it. Avagav the chiyadari ninu, hani mevarchen zabin v'lo seizel. Even though they're equal value right now, that which you plant will be blessed. Also, kan zavin v'lo tezel, buy clothing rather than weave it. Hanim mili bistarki. That's like mattresses. Avagliba lo misramile. But a shirt you should weave, because you may not have a shirt. Now that you measure it for measure, and it'll fit you better. Then Rav Papa gave other eitzes. If you have a hole in your house, tum v'lo tishbitz. Don't knock it down and do a whole remodel. Just fix the hole. Shpotz v'lo tivni. Don't build but remodel. Shekol ha'oisek b'vinyan mismasken. Whoever was got the money pit, whoever deals with construction is going to become poor. But kvot zavin are always buy land before somebody else will beat you to a good piece of land. Maton nasiv itza. Take your time before you marry a woman until you find the right one. Nachas darga nasiv itza. Go down from your social status. Sag darcha b'chad shushvi, and marry a woman even lower than your status. But if you're looking for a friend, rise higher, try to find somebody in a higher social status. Bad things happen in the world because Yisrael sinned. Shenamar, Ichresi goyim nashamu, panoisam achrafti chitzoisam. Ksiv, Omarti achtiri osi tikhi musar. In order for Klaiser to get musar, sometimes other nations suffer. Rav have a mifter Rav Chia. Rav would leave his uncle Rav Chia. And Rav lived in Eretz Yisrael, Rav Chia lived in Eretz Yisrael. Rav eventually went up to Bavel. So Rav Chia said to him, Hashem should save you from something that is worse than death. So Rav wondered, is there something worse than death? He went and he investigated and he found. It says in Kohelas, I will find something worse than death, that's the woman. We'll see in a minute what that means. Rav Avakamat his wife would shepherd him all the time. He would ask for lentils. She would make him the opposite. When he wanted the grain, she made him legumes. When Chia's son got older, Apichla, so he would tell the mother in the name of the father the opposite. That means he knew the father wanted legumes, so the son would ask the wife, no, make him barley. So she would make the legumes because that way the father would get what he really wanted. Amr lay. So Rav said to Chia's son, Ilalecha imcha. You know what? You should make up with your mother. Amr lay anahu dekafich. What do you mean? She's always switching you. I just wanted to get you what you wanted. Amr lay. People would say a saying that which comes out of you sort of teaches you knowledge. I myself, his son taught him something. I myself should have done the same thing. I should always have asked the opposite. But Rav said to his son, you shouldn't do this. Because you're learning how to lie. If you say it my name, it's not correct. Rav Chia become this. Rav Chia's wife would bother him. But when he would find something in the market beautiful, he would buy it for her and give it to her. Armalei Rav. So Rav, his nephew, said to his uncle, Rav Chia, what do you mean? Why are you always buying her gifts? She's giving you such trouble. Armalei, Dayenu shemegadlo ispanenu. You know what? They raise our children. Umatzilos osanu minachet. And because they give us a normal family life, we don't sin. And therefore we have to be makir tov to them. Makir le Rav Yudah Rav Yitzchak Brei. Rav Yudah said to his son Rav Yitzchak, Umotzani marmi mavis. What did Shlomo Melech mean that I find bitter than death the woman? Amalei Kagon Man. So who we Kagon Imcha? So he said, like your mother. So what do you mean? How could Rav Yudah say that? V'masi le Rav Yudah Rav Yitzchak Brei, ein adam moitze kores rechle mi ishta rishona. A person who only finds happiness with his first wife. Shenamar, Yehi mekorcha baruch u'smach meishes nurecha. You're going to be happy with the wife of your youth. V'amalei Kagon Man Kagon Imcha. So how could you say, and over there, his son asked him, who is such a wife? So he said, like your mother. So his wife treated him well, not bad. So maskift kifa, the abuima avra b'mila. She was a tough lady, but she wouldn't stand on principles. Even though, let's say, she was insulted, she wouldn't get insulted. She would be easily appeased. So that's a big mila. Okay, so hechidami isha ro. What's an example of a bad wife? Omra by mekashtele taka, or mekashtele puma. She dresses up the table to eat, but she has very bad language when they eat. She uses bad language. Rav Omer Makashle Tako Mahadr Le Gabo. She makes the table nice, but she sort of sits haughtily, giving off the airs as if she doesn't want to have anything to do with her husband. Isha, Avonosav Nispakikim. When a man marries a wife, his avonos are forgiven. Shenemer matzah isha matzah tov yafik ratzon mashem. So another pasuk says when he finds a wife, he finds good. And therefore, we've just learned two psukim. Motzei ani marmi mavis isha, which refers to a bad wife. And then matzah ish matzah tov. So, b'marav in Eretz Yisrael, ki nosiv inish itza, when a man would be getting married, amri leochi, they would say to him, matzah or motzei? Did you find a good wife or did you find a bad wife? Right? Matzah d'chsiv matzah isha matzah tov. Motzei d'chsivu motzei marmi mavisa isha. So even today, people say matzah or motzei. Amar Rava, isha ra mitzvah legarsha. If you're married to a bad wife, you should divorce her. It's a mitzvah to divorce her. The siv garash lates, the yetze modern v'yishpos din v'kolon. Mishlei says if there's bad in the house, you should get rid of her. Then you have a problem. If you have a difficult wife, but her ksuba is a fortune of money, so you can't afford to divorce her, because if you divorce your wife, you got to give her the ksuba. So tsarasa b'tzida, you know what? You have an eitzah, marry a second wife. Damri inshi b'chaverta v'lo b'silta. That means you're going to cause a bad wife to suffer by her having to deal with a second wife. Amarava. Kasha isha ra kiyam sagrir. A difficult wife is like is like a storm. Day of hail and wind, says Rashi. Shneimar delef torid biyom sagrir ve'eshes midyonim nishtava. Bamarava. Borei kamatov isha toivav kamaroishara. Look how good a good wife is. Look how bad a bad wife is. Kamatov isha toivav dichsiv matzah isha matzah tov. I begavam ishtoi kra. If we just follow the meaning of the pasuk, so kamatov isha tova shakasa b'shabcha. So some say matzah isha matzah tov doesn't refer to his wife. It refers to Torah. So if it refers to his wife, the wife is being praised. Torah is compared to a wife. So what does it mean? Kama ra isha ra? How bad is a bad wife? If it's referring to a wife, kama ra isha ra shekasu begava. The Torah says how bad it is. However, some say this pasuk refers to Gehenna. Look how bad a bad wife is, that the bad wife is compared to Gehenna. Yirmiyah Navi brings a nevuah that says, I'm going to bring you an evil that you won't be able to get out of. They explain, it's a bad wife, but who has a very expensive ksuba, they can't divorce her. In Eicha it says, Nisanani Hashem bidei lo uchal kum. Refers to the same concept. In Eretz Yisrael they learn Zezer Shemizanosav Tluyim Bekaspo. Person doesn't have his own land. He has to buy food always from his businesses. Better to have food growing from your ground. In the Tochacha, it says that your sons and daughters will be given over to other nations. That's when a father has a stepwife. So the children are brought up by not their own mother. Also refers to a bad wife who has an expensive ksuba. Rabbi Yezer Omer Elu Aminim. These are the Christians. Omer Omer Navel Belibo Ein Elokim. Ein Elohim. He was an apikoros, he didn't believe in God. B'masnisatona Elu Anshe Barbaria v'Anshe Martnoi. The Berbers, Shemalchin Aruvim Bashuk. They walk around naked in the market. There's no more lower person in front of Hashem. Somebody walks around naked in the market. No, it refers to Chabarim, to the Persian priests who used to worship fire. Rav Yechon was told that the Chabarim are going to Bavel. Shaganafel. Rav Yechon was very upset. Well, you can get around them by giving them bribes. Toretz Yosef. So he felt better that the Jewish community in Bavel would be able to deal with them by giving them bribes. Gazru al Shoisha Mipnei Shloisha. The Persians were goyzer on three things. Gazru al Basar Mipnei Amatnois. They tried to be mevatel kosher shchita, and that's because Klal Yisrael were not careful about giving the gifts to the Kohanim. Gazru al Merchatzos. They were goyzer that the Jews shouldn't wash themselves with Tefillah because the Jews had become lax and going to the mikveh. They would start taking Jewish dead out of the cemeteries, but they should smeichim biyomedam. Jewish people were happy on the holidays of the Goyim. If you are happy by the idols' holidays, I will put my hand to you and to your forefathers, meaning I'll take their bodies out of the grave. That's people who dig up the dead bodies. For people who are living, their sins, mesim mechatatim. The mesim could be dug up. Lo yasfuf lo yikaver ludomin al pnei amayiyu. In Yirmiyahu, it says they will not be gathered or buried. The dead will just remain on the land. V'nivchar mavis mechan, people will choose death over life. Amar le nivchar mavis l'shoim, shlo yichri b'olam hazeh v'yechtu v'yuplu b'gehenim. It refers to Rishoim, that they shouldn't live in this world, because if they live in this world and they sin, in the end they're going to end up in Gehenim. Kosev b'Sefer ben Sira. So after the books of the Tanakh were codified in Tanakh, was one of the first books that was published after in Bayis Sheni period. And the Mechaber was Shimon ben Yoshua ben Sira, who lived in Yerushalayim. And he was of the generation of Shimon HaTzadik, before the Chashmonim. So you're talking about like 300 BCE. It was a very accepted sefer. It was translated into Greek and it was found in the Alexandrian library. In the Septuagint, this Ben Sira was included in the books of Tanakh that were translated. But Chazal didn't include it in the books of Tanakh. They considered it one of the outer books. They also said people shouldn't read Ben Sira. But there were some things in Ben Sira that were very wise, which are quoted in different places in Shas. And they quote from Sefer Ben Sira. And they darshan good things from it. So Isha Tova, Matana Tova Labala. A good wife is like a gift to his husband. That it's like being given into the arms of Yireh Elokim. Isha Rot Saras Lavala. It's like leprosy for the husband. Maita Kante Garshena. He should divorce her v'yisrapim mitzara, so he will be healed. Isha Yafa Shrei Bala. Happy is the husband who has a beautiful wife. Mispar Yama Kiflain. It's like he lived 70 years, he really lived 140 years. It doubles his life. But be careful of a beautiful woman. You'll be trapped, you'll be ensnared in her trap. Don't hang around the husband to drink with wine, because that'll lead to seduction. Many people have found their destruction with a beautiful woman. Rochel is like a peddler. People go from place to place, sells jewelry or sells things that women buy. So he could get damaged because of jealous husbands. It's like a spark to a coal. These peddlers, their homes might be full of trickery. Don't worry so much about tomorrow, because you don't know what's going to happen today, right? You might not live to tomorrow. And then, tomorrow will come, he won't be. He was worried about a world that really didn't belong to him. Don't have a lot of people in your house. And don't bring everybody into your house. You should have a lot of people always hope for the best for you. Only reveal a secret to one in 1,000. Mashiach will come after Kodesh Baruch Hu installs all of the neshamos that he created into some body. Shenemar ki ruach milfanai yatov uneshamos ani asisi. Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Omer, kol mi she'eino osek b'pir v'yavia kilu shofech dami. Whoever's not occupied in pru or vu, it's as if he committed murder. Shenemar shofech dam adam badam damar yishafech uksiv basrei. It's written right after vatem pru or vu. Rabbi Yaakov Omer kilu mimat admus. He's preventing the dmus of Elokim. Shenemar ki b'tzelem Elokim asas adam. Uksiv basrei vatem pru or vu. Ben Azai Omer kilu shofech damim. Not having children is like murder. Umimad admus, he reduces the dmus Elokim. Shenemar vatem pru or vu. They're beautiful people who darshan beautifully and makayim. There are people who know makayim, who makayim but ain't a no darsh. But vata no darsh v'ena no makayim. Ben Azai was single, never had children. So you darshan beautifully, but you're not makayim. What can I do? I love Torah. I cannot tear myself away from Torah. The world will be populated through other people. Whoever doesn't occupy himself in pruvu, it's committing murder. Shenemar, shofech dam adam v'samich levatem pruvu. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah Omer, ki'ilu mimayit admus. It's reducing the dmus elokim. So he does both. He murders and he reduces the dmus. Ben Azai Omer, he said the same thing. Omer lo ben Azai yesh no darsh. They said, oh, you darshan beautifully, but you don't come a kayim. Okay, we'll stop here.
So, yeah. Tomorrow, 7:30.
Tomorrow, 7:30, the Daf.